I'm just really excited about this topic because first we need to know, the first thing is we need to know, okay, what is a dream and what is a vision? And there are differences between the two. And so a dream is where God is revealing his call, plan, and strategies for your life.
Right.
These could be soon to happen events in your life. It could be things in the semi-near future, maybe a few months away or even years too, where God's trying to show you, okay, these are the kinds of things that I'm trying to teach you too, not just show you prophetic events, but actually how God in his own way teaches you, and he reveals signs to you through your dreams and other ways too. But when you get a dream, we're going to talk about some of the things to look out for. Do you realize how excited I am to do this right now?
You're excited every.
Oh, by
every
the
day,
way,
every time.
I am wearing my
the-
Hawaiian shirt today, and I feel like one of those when you talk about how like you're very pretty boy kind of shirt. For me, maybe that's what this shirt is. I don't know. Maybe.
See the vibe you give off. What's those? What type of dog is it that gets like excited really
he pees
easily?
while he gets like he shakes his
No,
tail
he's
around?
just always excited and always happy.
Yeah,
you're like a golden retriever in human
and the
form.
dog that pees too.
Oh, okay. You're like a
my cousin had that dog.
Your vibe just screams golden retriever in human form sometimes.
Oh yeah, and this is why we have our character Rufus that we have been doing for years, and we have other ideas for jokes, and it is hilarious. Oh my gosh, this guy over here. Oh, by the way, we forgot to do our intro. Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to Guys Gone Bio. We are a podcast where we explore, discuss, and teach various passages of the Bible and how we can relate it to our lives. And whether you're a first-time believer or a long-time believers like us, we are absolutely glad to have you. So
I'm just kind of along.
Feel free to sit back and relax. By the way, we forgot last week's food suggestion.
Oh, good.
It was supposed to be fried chicken and Hershey syrup. Do you remember that?
Chocolate-covered fried chicken.
That was back in, remember, the last time we tried that. It was around spring 2019. It was on a game night.
I could have swore it was like 2018, but...
No, it was 2019, because I actually checked the date of the video. I think it was about April something. Anyway.
Oh, I was going to college at the time, wasn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And that was my last apartment that we had. Anyways.
That was good.
Right?
It was good. No, I'm not even kidding.
So we still have that video.
Yeah. So we'll throw it up right now.
No, not yet. That's late. That's later. Another
later
time. That's for another time.
Oh,
wink, wink.
But anyway, but no, we'll. But yeah, no. We were joking about chocolate-covered fried chicken for a minute, and I was like, you know what? I'll just. Do
you remember that? I remember we were going to the store
and bite the bullet on this one.
We were shopping at Safeway, and we brought the food to my apartment for our event that we were doing.
Yeah,
and I don't know what it is with maybe it's just my brain specifically, but certain things just make me laugh or somehow. Like when you take these food ideas where you come up with stuff like, hey, I know, let's take that fried chicken and dip it in Hershey syrup and see what it tastes like.
Yeah, I was down.
And it's one of those like food adventure kind of things.
Yeah, no. And so we took a little bit of Hershey syrup, or I put it on a plate and dipped my fried chicken in it.
No,
and made sure it was on the crust. Yes, I did.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about like, no, don't do that because. Okay, so I'll admit, I have to. I'm fully hypocrite in this. So I tried it myself. Yes, and of course I loved it, but that was not the point that I was trying to make during that time.
Wait, when did you try it? You didn't try it?
No, I tried it soon after, but off camera.
You never told me about this. Wait a minute, this is brand new.
Maybe you were in the other room and then I tried it, but I did try it. Okay, whatever. So I am fully admitting I tried it, yes, and I actually did like it. But I
told you.
There's no way I'm gonna, come up with these ideas of coming home from work one day and maybe specifically I buy fried chicken one time. I'm not gonna go to the refrigerator and grab Hershey syrup out of the fridge and eat it with. I'm just going to eat it like
this fried chicken's really good. You know what would be really even better right now? Chocolate sauce.
Uh-oh.
No,
but today's food suggestion is. Are you ready for this? Spaghetti and M&Ms is our food suggestion.
Oh,
today.
What the hell?
Yeah, right?
No.
Yes. Because, not.
Well, okay.
It doesn't have to necessarily be anything like signature gourmet or nice specifically, but
no, it's always something weird and random. And this is by far one of the most bizarre things you've ever sent me through messages. It's that's the weirdest text message I've ever gotten.
But you know what? You know what else? Are you ready for this?
What?
I have what we are now calling Russell's turban of the day. Today you're wearing your Seahawks Dragons turban. And last week you wore Seahawks. Hat. No, but it's your turban.
It's not a turban.
Yes, I know it's not a turban, but it's a turban in my mind, you see. And no matter what you're wearing, even if you're not wearing something, you're always wearing something in my mind, and it's always a turban.
My dad wears turbans. Part of my family on that side for his biological. I don't know any of them, but they wear turbans. So me, I'm whitewashed, man. I don't wear turbans.
I need you to wear a turban somehow. Not necessarily because you want it.
You have an unhealthy obsession with Indian culture and me associated with that.
But see, here's why it gets better. See, this week's turban of the day has Cinco de Mayo sombreros in it, because next Sunday, that's the next holiday coming up. So your specific turban has Cinco de Mayo festivities and other decorations in there mixed in with your turban. We have to tell our video editor to edit the turban on your head right now as you're sitting there looking at me.
Do that. You're looking at me right now, right?
You realize how funny that would
let's
be
make sure the camera
if he did that right now.
Let's make sure he's looking right at me because I'm making eye contact with him on this one. Do not. Awful.
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure you are wearing a turban right now as you're sitting there.
This is terrible.
In post, anyway.
Let me just...
Maybe not. No. See, it didn't go anywhere. You're still wearing it. You can't get rid of it because it doesn't exist. Anyways, enough about that.
Are you looking to satisfy your food cravings while embracing your inner fat kid? This video is not sponsored by McDonald's. McDonald's burgers are almost cooked to perfection, ensuring that every meal will slowly but surely give you diabetes or cancer faster than you can say quadruple bypass surgery. Have you ever tried the fries? Their genetically modified potatoes are cooked to a golden crisp perfection and packed with enough preservatives to survive a zombie apocalypse. And let's not forget the chicken nuggets. Their soybean oils and silly putty ingredients are bound to make you feel like that one time you farted in church. Because here at McDonald's, the only thing we take seriously is fun. Everything else is just a side of ketchup. There's no discount code or anything. You still have to pay full price. But if you order a meal there, tell them that Guys Gone Bible sent you. The front desk person may laugh at you to your face, but at least you'll have the satisfaction of knowing they secretly hate McDonald's food too. So whatever you do, do not order a meal at McDonald's, and you'll automatically be 1,000 times healthier.
Okay, and then, anyway, so today's topic, by the way, the main reason why we're here, obviously. So this title of the video is called Dreams and Visions. And so we're doing Dreams and Visions today.
Yes.
And I just wanted to come on here, and I want to, because when you're coming from a pastor's perspective, and you're somebody like me where you want to take these technical aspects of something where it's stuff you learn in a textbook or from a professor.
Right.
And so this is what I'm going through. As a pastor, I'm trying to take these technical aspects of things like dreams and visions various aspects of how each dream and vision is significant in their own way and how to interpret it rightly.
Right.
And so that's what this podcast is about today. So we are going to look up a few scriptures. If you can get your Bible ready. So we're going to first talk about how, and I actually need my chart for this as well. So we're going to talk about different examples. So in Genesis 41, we have the dream about Pharaoh and Joseph.
Am I looking that one up?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
I was just going to briefly go through we don't have time to read all these.
Right.
These are just a few brief examples. And these are all examples in the Old Testament. So we have the one in Genesis 20 about God stops Abimelech, the king of Shinar, from sleeping with Sarah, Abraham's wife. Then we also have Jacob's ladder, the Jacob go home, Laban's warning, the one about how Joseph saw Pharaoh's dream and he interpreted you're going to have 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. And then so we have many more. We don't have time to go through all of them, but there's just a few examples. There's also other ones of one of my favorite ones actually about King Solomon in 1 Kings 3 when God is coming to him. What the text says is a dream, but it's technically a vision. When we will later discover later on the differences between dreams and visions. And so that's going to be another one of those distinctions that we're going to need to know when we're talking about testing the spirits, which is actually the next scripture. Actually, no, not yet. Sorry. Not actually yet. The reason why. So we have, before we go into our next phase of our topic, we have to talk about various observations. Okay, so the main observation that we're trying to get to is, and that's great too. So these dreams have, when you notice a relation between these kinds of dreams, as usually these dreams occur at a time when there's a certain turning point as far as when it comes to God's will in his narrative that he is willing for this particular situation, whether it was, with different people in the Bible, with Joseph and Nebuchadnezzar, there's all the examples. But these dreams occur during certain turning points. It doesn't have to be major, like the next day kind of stuff. It can be, they get a dream and this is something that happens maybe a few months later. Or maybe the next day, or maybe, some of the prophets, not some, all of them, but who predicted, things like prophecy and end times and when things like when Israel would return as a nation again, things like that. And that's actually another topic that we can't cover today, but we want to do a biblical prophecy topic. And that one, we're going to do, I was thinking it'd be great if we did overview of all biblical prophecy as far as taking a look at the kinds of prophecies of Jesus, end times, all of that stuff. But that's separate. But although that is germane to what we're talking about today,
right?
Too, as well as far as prophecies, not necessarily speaking in tongues. We have to address that. But this is what we are. Okay, so what we're talking about in this podcast is we're talking about when we get these dreams. Now, the scripture does not explicitly say, ask for God to tell you something in a dream.
Right.
We can pray for God to give us signs, and there are multiple signs too. And those are other things that we have to address in our education as far as this topic. And sorry, I got lost in my notes. So we also, as far as dreams are concerned, we also have to look at first God's word. What does God's word say just in general about everything? So before we even have a dream, we have to be educated in what, being about, not necessarily, you don't have to be one of these people where if you're not sticking to like a 365-day plan, something right now, then
right.
But people who generally read their Bible, look to God's words, and if you're one of those people where you need to hear the literal voice of God, then read the Bible out loud, because that's how you're going to first look to there and see what God says about anything, as far as, especially when it comes to future spouses and things that correlate to that as well. And that's later on.
Right.
Not a lot later, but sometime later.
Right.
And then you also get dreams that God gives you, your subconscious dreams, and then also dreams from the devil or other witchcraft dreams. So it's those main three right there. And so we're going to talk about the differences. For instance, if you get a dream from God, it's going to be more of a nature of peace. Even if it's a dream that's challenging or a warning, there's still going to be a strong sense of peace when you get a dream from God. Subconscious dreams, I mean, maybe not as much, but maybe you could still feel peaceful. And then dreams from the devil are just outright terrible. I mean, when you wake up from a dream from the devil or of a witchcraft dream, and if you feel terrible, yeah, that's probably, a more demonic dream. But not necessarily the person is demonic, but it's whatever. And so, okay, so those are the three main types of dreams. Now what we're going to talk about is, you can look this up, Acts 2, 14 through 19. Peter stood up with the 11, raised his voice and addressed the crowd. Fellow Jews and all of you who live in Jerusalem, let me explain this to you. Listen carefully to what I say. These people are not drunk as you suppose. It's only 9 a.m. And then here's the main point here. Now, this was spoken by the prophet Joel, that in the last days, God says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. Even on servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days, and they will prophesy. And then it goes on to other wonders and dreams and signs. And so everybody gets dreams.
Right.
Everybody. Non-believer or not, everybody gets them. And so when we correlate this to now current and last days from the scripture, and how people will see, where it says young men will see visions, old men will dream dreams.
Right.
So dreams and visions are going to happen whether people want to believe them or not. The more important thing is here, we're learning about how do we test these spirits. And if you can pull up for me 1 John 4, 1 through 3.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For any false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, and every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. And every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and now is in the world already.
Yeah, so we're sorry, I lost my place.
No, you're good.
So we're talking about testing the spirits again.
Right.
And this is why I'm especially excited for today's podcast, because we're going into future spouse dreams. So you know what that means.
Right.
Not to insinuate anything, but I'm just really excited about this topic, because first the first thing is we need to know, okay, what is a dream and what is a vision? And
right.
There are differences between the two. And so a dream is where God is revealing his call, plan, and strategies for your life.
Right.
These could be soon to happen events in your life. It could be things in the semi-near future, maybe a few months away, or even years too, where God's trying to show you, okay, these are the kinds of things that I'm trying to teach you too, not just show you prophetic events, but actually how God in his own way teaches you, and he reveals signs to you through your dreams and other ways too. But when you get a dream, we're going to talk about some of the things to look out for. And then a vision is interesting. A vision typically occurs most of the time when you're awake.
Yeah.
So most of the time, I would say, I can't give a percentage exactly, but you can get a vision in your sleep. Basically, God is revealing himself to you.
Right.
So when God specifically is saying something to you, that is a vision. And there's other types. These are things that you see where God's revealing his character, his personality, his attributes. And there's all different ways that go into that as well. So that's what a vision is. And you can get visions in your sleep as well. So that's why it was interesting when we were talking about back in 1 Kings 3 about how in Solomon, the text says that he got a dream, but that is a vision according to our definition of a vision, and how the Bible or basically how the Bible generally, in principle, shows what a vision looks like,
right? In
terms of God and the rest of when we consider everything else in Scripture too, as well. So what do you think about that, just in general?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, are you tired of a toothpaste that promises the moon but leaves your smile feeling like a country redneck that uses a toilet as a barbecue grill? This video is not sponsored by Colgate toothpaste. Imagine dazzling your friends with a smile so bright it can double as a flashlight during a power outage. With Colgate toothpaste, you won't just brush your teeth, you'll brush away all those germs and plaque as if you're trying to burn an entire house down because you got spooked by a spider. Why settle for ordinary toothpaste when you can choose a product that helps you create a second beard? There's no discount code or anything, you still have to pay full price. But if you go to the store to buy it, tell them that Guys Gone Bible sent you. The front desk person may have to cover their nose because you feel like a dead possum with its guts spilled out, but at least you won't smell as bad as the aftermath of that 3-bean burrito you ate with a hint of body odor mixed in. So why wait? Grab a tube of Colgate toothpaste today and see the difference for yourself. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we talked about the differences between dreams and visions. In a later topic, we will talk about tongues, prophecies, spiritual gifts, that kind of thing. Probably not next, but maybe sometime this summer. That would be an interesting topic to really delve into, I think.
Right.
Especially when it comes to the gift of prophecy.
Yeah.
And I would just really love to do that topic too.
No, absolutely.
It's just anyway. It's like, and it's fun. It's one of those great when you're a pastor too. These are those things that you get excited about. Right. Oh, I get to do this deep study on whatever Bible passage I want to do, and then I do it, and then I do a podcast about it. Yes, that's awesome. Anyway, so that's why I'm excited for this summer too, because I get to focus on that. And it's gonna be a lot of fun, dude. Anyways, so we're things. So we're going to talk about next about things to look out for, in your dreams. So, first and foremost, the most important thing is about context. Context is about what you are doing in the dream. Are you boarding a plane? Are you walking down a field, driving down the road? That's all the context. Next, you got to look at people, places, feelings. It doesn't have to be specific people. Maybe you see a crowd of people, things like that too. Or maybe you're in, and I had this one semi-recently, where I saw myself driving a car around in a sectioned off city block.
Right.
And that has to be, and I figured it out later. That dream specifically means being within God's will. So if you see, and I had that dream too. So that's very one of those, like, oh, really? That's great. Then we also have colors, sounds. We also got to pay attention to numbers. So numbers, we don't have time to get into all that too, but those are just a few of the things to look out for. So we talked about people, places, and things, context, color, sounds, numbers, which is different from voices or prophetic words, which these are more visions. And this is an example where you get these people who maybe are preaching on stage and they get this message that they're saying that they didn't initially plan on, but maybe they're
Right.
prophesying over somebody or healing, and that's what we're going to get into when we do spiritual gifts and things like that too. So that's coming up soon. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the different most common types of dreams, and there's probably a lot of people watching that have probably had these, but there's more than this. These are just a few. And so one of them could be that you're being chased by a dog or something. And I actually did have this dream, as a matter of fact. I had this dream that I was being chased by a dog, but I was running. I turned my hand around like this, and a laser beam shot out of my hands, and I neutralized the dog. What right? But see, so being chased by a dog means being overwhelmed by whatever anxiety, or the dog could represent maybe an addiction, and it doesn't have to necessarily, but it could be in other ways too, or people, whatever they're going through at the time. The dog is whatever their problem is for them in that moment. So I neutralized the dog. So you can probably imagine what I got through, whatever that was relating to my specific situation, which I will not get into the details now, but this is what I'm talking about though. So when you get, like for instance, if you're falling is another big one. These are generally feelings of insecurity or helplessness. If you're naked, this could represent being vulnerable or embarrassed or just being transparent. It just, again, context is always the most important thing first. Then we can look to symbology, because symbology is separate. And then one of the other ones is we have flying. So these mean revelatory or prophetic gifting, promotion, supernatural abilities, overcoming obstacles, things like that. And I have had many of those.
Right.
Then we also have, the other one where you lose your teeth. This is just generally.
See, I've had the flying dream a lot more lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Losing teeth though. This is
losing teeth,
generally means too much responsibility, too busy, worried about appearance, difficulty understanding current situation, that kind of stuff. So that's what that dream means. And then there's other ones and these are also a little different too, because there's also other kinds of dreams where maybe you're committing a crime that you would never in a million years ever do. That but you get this dream, and this generally represents generational curses.
Right.
So if you get a dream like that, that's probably what that generation. If it was maybe like you stealing something or drinking too much, and it could be anything, whatever the specific curse is. But what those kinds of dreams represent. So that's interesting too. And then we also have, now we got to get into the main topic that we've been all waiting for so far. And This is about future spell streams.
Welcome to this edition of Another Time. For today's episode,
Look at Santino. Wait, what's he doing? How did he?
He's stuck in the ladder.
Wait,
Look at his arm.
he can't get out.
Oh no. Is he gonna get up with the ladder in his arm?
We can't. He's stuck like that. What the heck? He's just moving the ladder around like it's nothing. Oh, there it goes, into the stands.
thank you for watching this edition of Another Time. Goodbye.
Okay, so about future spell streams. One of the first thing that we mentioned earlier is we first have to look at the context. What are you doing in the dream? Then we can look at, okay, what is the symbol or the main thing that we're focusing in the dream?
Right.
And it doesn't have to be everything. It could be like maybe you're walking down a sidewalk or something, and you get distracted by something you saw on the ground. I don't know, a piece of candy. I don't know, it could be anything. And then maybe the candy could represent whatever, maybe a issue that you got going on that could look sweet, but it's actually detrimental to your health.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And there's, looking to symbology, especially when it comes to future spell streams, has to come first. The symbology. And this comes in the form of, like, for instance, if you see a person's name, the symbology to that is you're not looking for somebody with that exact name. You're looking for the meaning of that name. So when it comes to future spouse dreams, that's very important, because what we're doing here is when we think you're familiar with the scientific method, or the scientific method approach, and I actually have a chart right here where you question, create a hypothesis, do the experiment,
Right.
collect data, you analyze the data, then do the report. When it comes to these dreams, you got to basically treat it like not necessarily an experiment per se, but you're collecting data, enough data to get, okay, who is the exact person God is trying to show me? After you've collected significant data, and what the symbology of all those dreams mean, and not necessarily specifics. And that's another side of that that's very important. So the other thing is, definitely almost very importantly, keep a dream journal. So you could have a physical journal like this, or you could have, I use my digital notepad.
Yeah.
So typically when you get a dream from God, is most dreams from God, if not, all of them are very vivid dreams. So these are dreams that you definitely remember. You're going to also, when you wake up from the dream, you're going to have a very strong sense of peace. And peace is the main sign to look out for when it comes to discerning dreams from God. Do you have a sense of peace, even if it's a warning dream?
Usually, unless I have like a nightmare, I guess.
Yeah, and it could be one of those moments too where maybe you still feel frightened or scared of whatever it is.
Right.
But deep down, you do feel a sense of peace still.
Because at the same time, I just think of I know dreams can be interpreted into something happening in real life, right? And we should take all dreams as signs. Like after a nightmare, I typically will wake up and just be heavy breathing for 10 seconds, and I'm just okay, I'm calm.
Yeah.
And then I move forward with my day.
Okay.
So I try not to pay the bad thought, anything like that, anything that associates with the word bad or terrible or whatever, right? That's just something traumatic that you just went through, a horror, a nightmare, right? Nightmares can be traumatic.
Well, yeah.
Especially if you remember them vividly. I know a lot of nightmares I've had, I remember vividly.
Sure.
And, I try not to put too much thought into that because I don't want to manifest my own reality with it.
Yeah, and one of the things too about this specifically is a lot of times when you focus or prayer about something, if you're praying about something, and it's sort of for instance, an example could be when you are in the market to buy in a certain car and you see that car everywhere you go.
Right.
So when it comes to future spouse dreams, we have to be really careful here, because if you get a subconscious dream, this doesn't necessarily mean that this dream was from God. This dream subconsciously could look very similar. And I can understand where people get, they make these mistakes of was this dream really from God or was it not? But no matter what kind of dream you get, always bring your dream to God in prayer. Always.
Right.
It does whatever it is, because you're going to eventually get the answer or the clarity that you need. And so when we're collecting data, we're going to get into the other types of future spouse dreams. Now, these are types of these dreams. We don't have the time to go through every single one, but I think you guys can probably get the general idea. If you see a ring without a proposal, that's another one. If you see you're working or helping someone, maybe you're washing the car, maybe you're handing out pamphlets to people, that kind of thing, or you're signing a document, or if you're walking together hand in hand down a path or something, that's another one. There's also where you're crossing a bridge. That was another good one. If you see a faceless companion, now this one is focusing more on the emotional and spiritual connection and not the exact likeness. And so that's another really good one. There's also, if you see a rainbow, this represents covenant and promise. If you see birds, this represents, generally feelings of happiness and comfort. And this is another great one too. If you're on a ship, like a boat, because it's a relationship. So if you get that kind of dream, that's also very interesting. There's also, now, you don't have to necessarily have had all these dreams, but you may have had one or a few of these dreams before. And the important thing is gathering data, have a collection of these kinds of dreams. And when you match all the data, God will reveal to you the exact person at some point.
Right.
And just, and there's, anyway, and then there's also if you're praying with them, if you share a meal, or if you see puppies. Puppies, again, happiness and comfort. If you're actually in a wedding is another obvious one.
Yeah.
Another one, if you see butterflies, because butterflies represent transformation. And when you're getting married, these are the kinds of things that, or if you're, the last one I wrote down here is if you're dancing or singing with them, things like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I do got to mention this. If you see a person and they have a certain pronounced body part, it could be like, for one instance, if they have a long nose, this represents somebody who's very discerning.
Yes.
Somebody who is very analytical in their thinking. And then, for instance, another one could be if you saw somebody with pronounced lips.
Right.
This represents somebody who has a lot to say. And there's all other kinds of ways like that. And then, so those are just some of the types. And there's certainly a lot more than that. And again, it all depends on, what you're doing in the dream. For instance, one of my more common ones is I had dreams where I was in a field or something. Or I was, I think, driving down a road and handing out scriptures with the reference written on them to people. And I was delivering to people's houses. Because I'm also a UPS driver too, professional.
Right.
So that's actually what I do. But in the dream, that's also what I'm doing. But it's not packages. Anyway, so those are just one of several that I've had. And but anyways, then we have the next very important aspect is we have a pairing process. So these are going to have these are the times of confusion, usually, when you're in the process, in our scientific method of collecting the data and then putting them together and say, okay, what do we know so far based on the data that we have?
Right.
And then that's right around the time where God's probably going to, he'll probably show you the exact person at that moment. Or maybe he couldn't. Or maybe, not that he couldn't. Maybe he doesn't in his wisdom and all that. And then we have, I mentioned the confusion. God will allow some doubt to come in, but not necessarily all of it. Because God, ultimately, he wants you to come to him.
Right.
When it talks about in 1 Corinthians 14:33, God is not the author of confusion, but he does let you get confused sometimes.
Right.
Depending on what you're doing, what you're going through in whatever specific season that you're in. So God is not the author of it, but he will allow some to go through. So that's the important point. And then James 1:5-8 talks about if any of you lacks wisdom, if you just fully admit to God in prayer, Lord, I don't know what to do in this situation, or I don't know what I'm supposed to think about a certain whatever that you're going through. Lord, please help me overcome my doubt. And there was an interesting story about, I can't remember the exact reference on the top of my head, but the story about the man who had his son, and he says, if you can, heal him. And then Jesus replies back, if I can, ? It's like, help me. Ultimately, he says, help me overcome my doubt. So that's what we need to do. When we get these times of confusion and doubt, and we've all, everybody who has had these kinds of dreams, this is one of the first things that happen. Because this is part of the process.
Right.
Because you're also going through whatever character things that God's trying to give you through. And you go through these circumstances in your life sometimes, but at the moment, it doesn't necessarily seem to correlate with your future spouse dreams and your prayers. Because you think if you're having a hard time at work, you don't correlate that to the thing that you're dreaming about a future spouse.
Right.
And it just feels, feels like there's some kind of disconnect there. But God will use these instances where you have to have more patience, where you have to learn how to adapt. And there's all kinds of ways that we can talk about that. But, and so God uses doubt as a test to see, God uses doubt as a test to see if you'll use confusion for clarity and not blindly accept whatever's put in front of you. So you should, the pairing process,
Right.
an argument could be made that actually should be confusing. It should be.
Right.
Because these are the times where you get into when you're learning to practice too, how to do something, how to be a couple, how to even just function as a person, first and foremost. And then how you're also learning these skills to help a future soulmate.
Yeah.
And God brings you through this pairing process. And that's one of the main things that aspects that we're talking about here. So, and then now the other thing on the other side of the coin, if there are no doubts, that's actually a problem, because if you're just that could be a sign that you're just assume that this was a dream from God and maybe it was just your own imagination.
Right.
And this is why testing is important, like we mentioned earlier. And so, now, when you come to God with your confusion, first of all, he wants you to come to God. He wants you to come to him. And then when you actually do, then you get the clarity that you're looking for, just in general. And then also, and I mentioned earlier about how an argument can be made, that you should have doubts at first.
Right.
Because this is where, okay, you want, and it's one of these things too, where when you're testing something, okay, what is the authenticity of said XYZ, you fill in the blank, of a person and
Right.
whatever they're doing? It could be anything. So other people may refer to this as meeting the one, or your one soulmate. And there's other examples of how there could be multiple ones, but there's not ever going to be just only one exact person ever for you. There could be, because people are bound to make mistakes. People are going to choose the wrong people. They thought God was telling them one thing, and then they get in this relationship thinking, oh yeah, this is great. And then it falls apart after a couple of weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when it comes to testing, we need to ask questions. And that's the first sign of somebody, oh, here we go, somebody who's mature and doing their research too.
No, absolutely.
And that's what we need to do. And this is one of the skills that God's trying to help us along with. And then, okay, so I mentioned a pairing process, times of confusion. Now, God will often let you experience be different than what you originally dreamed or imagined on purpose, because God's not aligning his will with your imagination. God's wants you to live his will according to his will for your life. And then not necessarily, it's good. You should expect it to be different than what you expected. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So God typically doesn't adapt his will to your dreams. The confusion fades once we loosen our grip on what we think should happen. So once you believe that, God, here's what I was thinking, but what would you have me do? And that
Right.
when you ask those kinds of questions in prayer. And then the other thing that I wrote down here is that there's always peace surrounded through all of this. When you have a prayer life and you're seeking the Lord, God, what do you want me to do here? What do you want me to do there? Things like, and it can go all kinds of examples about how when maybe you're a young aspiring college student and you're
Right.
choosing colleges, and maybe you fill out an application to one place and it doesn't work out. And then there's also the circumstances too. So God speaks through his word, speaks through other people, and circumstances. And I put that in quotes because circumstances change, obviously, but then you can't be the thing that where you whatever your immediate circumstance is, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the overall result of what's coming after that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's where prayer and discernment comes in, and how we can get through that. So, and then and then lastly, let's see. Did you want to say anything else, by the way? Like, did you have any
I don't really have anything to add.
other
at the moment.
comments? Because I have,
I was just waiting to see what
peace.
you get onto.
Sure. Peace in the midst of confusion is what I wrote down next for our next little aspect. Kingdom spells purpose demands responsibility. So this comes back to our correlation, where if you're learning the skills and everything that you need to be a good partner, these are the kinds of things that I mentioned earlier when you go through stuff.
Right.
And then along with troubling times prior to the relationship, because this is shaping and molding your character, and that's what God's will is for your life. And also,
for me, when it comes to the whole troubled times and stuff, I won't get too much into specifics or details. But I was in a tumultuous situation about a little while ago, and I met my current fiance at that time, and I was just kind of seeing where I was just throwing myself back into dating when I met my fiance, and just kind of seeing what was out there. And something that I never do, by the way, is I never go on a second date very soon after the first. I went on a second date with her the day after our first date. I liked her that much to want to see her. We got to talking a little bit more on that second date about what my living situation was like, who I was living with, and stuff of that nature. Well, as I said, it was a tumultuous situation, and she helped me get out of there, and did some stuff for me, helped me get out of there. We weren't even really officially together just yet when she was offering to get me out of there. And I knew right then and there that woman was the one for me, because I don't know. I've never had anybody really offer to get me out of a situation like that just without really knowing me, this was only the second date we had gone on, and she was there offering her support and help.
But you must have known her for at least a few weeks.
Well, then. Right. Yes, then.
But it's not like you met that day.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we had been talking for a minute, but after it only going on the second date, not really even officially being together just yet, and she offered her full support.
Oh, that's
which
that's
I've never
great.
had. I've never had that from another partner. So,
well,
that was my sign.
Oh yeah, so. And and it's different for every person too, and that's great. And that's that's God's will for your life in that love story narrative.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And another thing too, I've been trying to find engagement rings.
Maybe we should censor that part.
Right.
Oh, are we?
I mean,
but are we though?
By the time this gets posted, I'll have the engagement ring, and she'll already be wearing it on her finger.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna.
It won't matter. But no.
It's not like it's a secret either.
No.
Anyway.
Oh no.
What do we do?
But anyway, no, my grandfather called me and let me know that he found two of my late grandmother's rings, and I'd been trying to find something with a sapphire in it. And rings, as you know, nowadays are pretty darn expensive. And so I found, he told me about two rings that he found that are both rings with sapphires in them.
Yeah.
And wants to give one of them to me as a wedding gift. So I'd been trying to search for a ring for the last couple weeks, and was trying to find something to fit my budget. Now I'm getting one for free. Oh, that's just
and that's one of those serendipitous things that happen too when in your love story narrative. That's great. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, we're pretty much done. Is there you have any other closing comments?
I don't believe
maybe something about your imaginary turban that you're wearing right now. Still,
take it off.
No, keep putting it on him. I don't care. It's funny.
I hate turbans. I'm not a fan of turbans.
Yes, you are. In my mind.
In your mind, and in my mind, you're stuffing your face with lumpia every second of the goddamn day.
I know. I need lumpia though. I always need lumpia. I've noticed. Because whatever. It's a Filipino thing. Whatever. It
only works if you hate it though, because I hate turbans.
No, I actually do love it.
Well, no, I like lumpia too. So
I can't necessarily eat it for every meal, but I do
I do.
Yeah, I'm very
some lumpia.
stereotypical of wanting lumpia. As a Filipino person, yes, more mixed Filipino. Anyway, okay. Well, so one more thing, or one last thing, is that we have a new Facebook group that we're starting. If you guys have any dreams that you would like me to interpret, you can do it in this group, and we're gonna post a link in the description for that.
Most I'll do is I'll comment a meme.
No, well,
No, to interpret their dreams.
and then I don't think that's a good idea.
You could do a full synopsis, and then I could just,
Oh no, you're just only talking to me. Actually, I can't see it. It's a security thing. I can't get direct phone information from followers, but I'll still answer your question. Like I can.
Well, they can message you on the groups.
Yeah. So what I'll do is you'll post your dream somewhere, and then I'm going to have probably some kind of details to be sure to include in your dream, things that you saw and it's going to be where I will tell me your dream and I'll interpret for you. Simple as that. Now, I don't know how this is going to go if we get thousands of people that join this group, I may not necessarily have enough time to get around to everybody. And it's one of those things that's got to work out with my schedule. I have to have time to do it.
Right.
And if I don't, I'm really sorry ahead of time if I didn't interpret your dream, but I actually really got busy and I couldn't. So, but yeah, so we'll leave that link in the description and we'll see how it goes. And there's nothing, it's not nothing you got to pay. You just join. You have to have a Facebook page a Facebook account to join, but I think it'll be worth it.
I'll say signing up for Facebook's free as far as I know.
Yeah, and this is a great way for me as a dream interpreter, how to get better at interpreting, especially when it comes to being more accurate.
No, absolutely.
Because I can already do it, but it's like getting the practice when I have the opportunity, and I'm actually really excited about it too. So,
you seem overly excited.
But I am though.
Good. It's a good thing, Ryan.
I think it's probably also like an overachiever thing too. It's whatever type A kind of.
No,
stuff.
You definitely have a very big type A personality.
That's why I drive a yellow car. Did you know that? Because it matches my personality.
I hate the color yellow.
You hate it? No, but I love it.
Well, no, I like your car. I just don't like the color.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never been a yellow kind of guy. I don't know. Like this is the closest you'll get to. Oh yeah, sure. Yellow. But that's gold. That's not yellow. It's like that's supposed to be like gold and purple, not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. If you could read our closing comment, numbers 6, 24 through 26.
Through 26?
Yeah.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord makes his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lifts you up. The Lord lift up his countenance upon. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you. Countenance. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll restart. Sorry.
Beep.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
Yay! Alrighty, buddy. See you next time. Okay.